Hey assholes, Pat Ryerke here, also known as the Patriarchy, kicking social justice and all kinds of bullshit in the ass into 2017 and the beyond. Anti-science Caitlyn Jenner, no big advantage for transgender men in women's sports. I've avoided making videos about Caitlyn Jenner, or Bruce Jenner, as I'm going to call him. Because I didn't really have a problem with Caitlyn Jenner. I hated the virtue signaling and how the media treated this weird person. I'm not saying that Caitlyn Jenner's crazy because he, she, whatever the fuck is trans. Dude always seemed crazy. It took South Park to make this joke for people to catch on, I feel. I don't know. I never really cared that much. It was like, okay, it's your typical media bullshit, even though you killed someone with your car, and I don't know, you're just kind of weird. But, he was in a Kanye video. Give him credit for that, I guess. But, now Caitlyn Jenner's just coming out and doing... the thing I kind of liked about Caitlyn Jenner's that she wasn't totally SJW, like, she was actually conservative, and... God, I keep saying she, I'm sorry. It's just because people refer to him as a she. But, he was actually very conservative, and, he said some things I actually agreed with politically. I didn't actually disagree with everything that Bruce said. Don't let me down, Bruce! But Bruce let me down. There he is with some Wheaties. Retired Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner, a.k.a. Bruce. I just think of the ELO song every time. I'm just like, Bruce? Claimed Monday night that biological men who identify as women enjoy no big advantage when competing in a physical sport against actual women. But when pressed on the truth of the matter by Fox News' Tucker Carlson, Jenner ran away with, "We're not going into all that stuff." Oh shit, this was a Carlson interview? I'm not gonna lie, I don't always agree with Tucker Carlson, I don't. But I do love me some Carlson. Like when he's interviewing someone and he gives the cuck face, like the Carlson face, when some crazy person's talking, you gotta give Tucker Carlson credit. He does find the craziest fucking guests to bring on his show. I don't know where he finds these people. He finds these wackos all over the place. I love it. Although there are many examples, Carlson brought up specific one involving 39-year-old man who identifies as a woman who was then allowed to compete as a woman in a weightlifting competition, and of course went on to win. Carlson said to Jenner, let me try to do my Tucker Carlson best I can. He's kind of tough to impersonate. So let me get this straight. A transgender woman won a major weightlifting title. Some people said, well, this is someone who has a massive physical advantage over the other entrants in that contest. It seemed like a real thing to me. Jenner responded with a word salad. Here are all the highlights. Now I gotta do a Caitlyn Jenner voice, which is very difficult. The Olympic Committee has done 20 years of studies on issues of hormone levels of whether you need a gender confirmation surgery. What can you do as a trans person to be able to compete as your authentic self? As they've come up with guidelines. If you meet those guidelines, you can compete. And obviously, this woman did. Do you think it's fair? Carlson pressed. Yes, I think it's totally fair, Jenner replied. If the Olympic Committee thinks it's fair, I'm fine with it. Yes, because there's no big advantage. Armed with science, the simple fact that as a whole, men enjoy a big physical advantages over women, Carlson dug in and Jenner proved he had no good answer other than the shield of political correctness. Carlson, well, in that case, there was a big physical advantage. That's how Carlson does it. He'll say something like, well, and then it'll be really fast with the next part. Jenner, yeah, well, we're not going to get into all of that stuff. Physical advantage has nothing to do with it. In fact, I'm pretty sure with the Olympic Committee, you don't even have to have a gender confirmation surgery. Physical advantage has nothing to do with it. Oh, okay. Of course, Jenner doesn't have a good answer because the entire idea is not only anti-science BS, it is grossly unfair to these women who train and sacrificed almost all of their lives to medal in these sporting events, and then in walks Big Judy, formerly known as Jerome, a biological fellow who identifies as a woman, and no amount of hormone therapy, surgery, psychoanalysis, or trendy media coverage is going to turn Judy into actual Judy. Note that also Jenner's flippant and deceptive claim that there is no big advantage. Anyone who watches sporting events knows that. Here's the thing. Here, let's go down the sexist page line, because this is something you get attacked for by feminists. Remember that soccer thing a while ago from The Daily Show? And they said that the female soccer players didn't get paid as much as the men, and they were claiming the women won more and had the highest rated thing. Now, Daily Show, Sargon debunked that video, and so did Gavin McInnes. They debunked that video entirely. The thing is that male soccer, even though they weren't number one in the world like the American female soccer team, to be placed where they were at in the male soccer teams and the ratings that the World Cups get, and the sales they had in jerseys and merchandise and video games, the FIFA games, was way higher than the women. So they were paid appropriately for how much more money they brought in. There's no female athlete except for arguably Serena Williams, which I will hold up, that's a good argument, that is a LeBron James in America. There's no woman that deserves a paycheck because no woman does what LeBron James does for a basketball team. He could single-handedly win an NBA championship. There's a reason he gets paid what he does. Tom Brady can single-handedly win a football game, a major one against big men. That's why he gets paid $100 million. There's no woman that can compete on that level against those men. And that is because of biology. Women will never be in that Super Bowl playing against people like that because if they got tackled too much, they could get really hurt. And it's just biology. It's what it is. It's like when I used to watch Fear Factor. It was so unfair all the time. They would have the men and women compete in these physical challenges, and I would sit there baffled because the guys would dominate so many of the... I mean, I watched Fear Factor like a fiend, and the men would kick ass, and it's like, wait, you're having a dude run against a chick in a competition, and like, they would be fit people. It'd be a really buff athletic dude versus a really fit athletic chick. And sometimes it would be strength-based and stuff. And I was like, are you kidding me? Do you remember that female MMA fighter that was a dude that was a trans that just beat the shit out of women? It's not fair to the women that do sports. That's why women don't play in the men's basketball league. That's why, and the ratings aren't going to be as high because the highest level of that sport is being played by men. That's due to biology. That is a fact. People get mad about it all the time, but it's a fact. And women aren't as into sports as men. They don't buy as much merchandise. They don't watch it as much as men. And women don't have the desire to play sports because they don't have the testosterone that men have. While I disagree that a biological male does not have a big advantage, he almost always does. Even if you take Jenner's word for it, any unfair advantage in sports is not only unacceptable and grossly unfair to the competition. What about the fans? Who the hell wants to sit back and watch a cheater cheat and win? That's a great point, too. It's like, that's why women don't swim with Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps would beat all the women. It wouldn't be fair to any women swimming with Michael Phelps. So he has to swim with men, and he can lose. He doesn't a lot, but he can. Back in February, a biological woman competed as a woman wrestler, but because she is transitioning into a man, there was therefore pumped full of testosterone, a steroid that is normally a disqualifier in sports. She was not disqualified and naturally won the event. On top of shafting female athletes as a means to worship the altar of multiculturalism, these very same people who claim to be feminists are also cuddling with Islam over Western values, and guess who the chief victims of Islam are? Women, who are subjugated into second-class citizens. And yes, we are going to see more and more take advantage of this fad as it means to compete and win in women's sports. The left is eating its own tail, which is right now identifies as... No, here's the issue. There's no rules for this. Like, if you just say you're a trans, they believe you. That's as far as it goes. Like, legitimately, they're trying to get to a point where I could say, I identify as a woman, and they would let me go compete in a female sport. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't be that hard anymore. If they want to pass these laws, if you want to live in a Justin Trudeau world, I feel like I would be able to, as a man, I'm about 5'10" and 170 pounds, roughly, so I'm a pretty good weight for my height, right? I'm a pretty decent weight for my height. So I have a pretty decent mass to flip someone who's less weight than that. So let's say I'm around a girl that's 120 pounds, or 130 pounds even. The likelihood that she's going to be able to beat me in any kind of strength-based or physical-based thing is very unlikely. It's just incredibly unlikely, be it wrestling or anything. I would probably dominate her in that sport. Football. And that's not sexism. That just wouldn't be fair. I would be being a bully if I were to do that to a girl. That would be me being mean if I, like, tackled a girl really hard and slid her on the ground. That would be very mean of me to do. Like, it would be mean if I did that to a really small guy. A little small guy. That'd be very mean. And I'm not trying to talk like I'm a big dude. Like, if some tall, big guy wanted to kick my ass, I wouldn't be able to beat him up. I'm talking in comparison to a lot of women. So don't think this is me, like, trying to hype up my badassness. I'm just saying, I could take on a lot of women. Your average woman wouldn't be much of an issue. And that's how it should be. I don't want to fight women. I really don't. I have no interest in it. I don't know a lot of guys who want to fight women. But it's what it is. Anyway, it's scary. I don't know. I don't want women to get hurt. I'm worried about women getting hurt. I'm worried about them lying to them about what they can do and what they can't do. And keeping them away from reality and the context, the pragmatism of knowing that you're not going to be able to compete in a certain sport on that level because it's a man sport. It doesn't mean you can't be a successful athlete. Those chicks who won all those gold medals doing volleyball in the Summer Olympics, they're superstars. And like I said, Serena Williams. So you can do it. You can become a superstar in the sport that you play. No doubt. But it's tougher. And women need to know that if they want to do it. They have to know it's a tougher road. And it's not because of society. It's literally your body. It's biology, and you have to fight against that. And I wish you the best of luck if you want to be athletic and compete in sports. But yeah, Caitlyn Jenner talking out of her ass, whatever is there. I don't even know if he has an asshole anymore. I don't know if he turned his asshole into a vagina. He said he did have the full surgery, so I guess he does have a vagina. He said that on 2020 or whatever. So Caitlyn Jenner once again just flip-flops, showing a lack of consistency and a weird thinking process to this thing. It's the patriarchy. Like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, go fuck yourselves.
Smile at me, bitch. What you want?
Whoa, whoa,